I've always struggled with visualizing in 3D. Now, that's not something that you really realize is a problem until it's kind of too late and you start facing roadblocks because of it. Let me know if you relate to some of these problems. To begin, it's harder to draw from imagination. I sometimes need dozens of references from different angles to get something right, or even having to use 3D software. My drawings often lack dimension. Something would feel not quite right, and you don't really know what. Another problem is failing to understand where shadows would fall and how foreshortening would work. Like, I can visualize what it looks like, but it's hard to understand where everything would go in perspective. And finally, if you can't visualize in 3D space, you can't draw like Kim Jong-gi, which, might not be a problem for you, but it's a problem for me, so. If I had to guess, I'd say that I developed this bad habit, mostly because I've always shied away from 3D mediums. I got a Wacom tablet when I was like 11, and since then have had access to millions of online references, making it seem pointless to draw from life. Which is stupid, by the way. You should draw from life. I should be drawing from life. So I still struggle with this a lot, even though it's something I recognize now. So I wanted to share something that helped me, which is an assignment that my professor gave me, a study to help me rewire my brain to think in 3D again. Okay, so for context, I wanted to do some creature designs. These are for Pomelo Ranch, which is a fake video game concept art project that I started earlier this year. When I draw people, it's a lot easier to fake dimensionality because I've drawn them so much and looked at so many references that I know where the shadows fall logically, even if I can't picture them in 3D. But when inventing creatures, I didn't have that crutch to lean on. Inventing creatures from your imagination, even if they're close to animals that exist in real life, requires you to imagine the shapes of the creature in 3D so that you can turn them around in your head and draw them from different angles, but still have it look consistent. So this creature is called a honey monitor, and this is the first concept art that I did for it. When I showed this original concept to my professor, he told me that it looked flat. You can just tell that it looks like a cardboard cutout instead of a real creature that you could encounter in a video game, which was my goal. So this was the exercise. I went out and got modeling clay and went home and sculpted out the creature in real life. Then I was meant to, absorb the fact that it was real and tangible and that I could look at it from any angle, and to draw it from as many angles as possible. And you can see him here in the video. He looks a little goofy. And unfortunately, we did have to put him down as the clay was not settable. So he had to be annihilated. Wait, come look. Kill him. Kill him.
Do you want my slicey thingy? Here?
Yeah. Lynn, that's f***ed up. Oh, it's okay. Anyway, I was not excited to do this study because I've never liked working with clay, except that I did enjoy doing this study, and I really enjoyed working with the modeling clay, and I've done it multiple times on my own accord afterwards. I think that high school ceramics class just really killed clay for me in my mind, but I'm really glad that I came back around to it and was able to do something with it that was actually fun. So that just goes to show, if you're an artist and you hate a certain medium, maybe give it another try. Do something that you would actually want to do with it instead of just its most common use. This whole process caused the creature to have the personality of a real character. Modeling it in clay and the human error that comes with that made him have really goofy proportions. But because of that error, when I drew him again from all these different angles, I suddenly really liked the personality he was giving off. When before, he didn't really have one. It just kind of looked like a lizard. So yeah, those goofy proportions helped me so much. I feel like a lot of artists steer away from unpredictability, and it can be really helpful. So yeah, here's the final result of that study with him from all the different angles, and I think he actually looks like he could be in a video game now, which is a huge improvement from the original one. Alright, so here's the time where I give my creator spiel that everyone always makes. So if you're a Patreon supporter, then you've already seen this video of the full concept of the honey monitor after I did all the studies. That's because there are tons of videos up on my Patreon that are exclusive to Patreon. Even videos like this one that are up on my YouTube usually are up on my Patreon for at least a month before I make them public. So if you liked this video and the art shown in it, maybe you should consider subscribing. On my Patreon, you can find tons of works in progresses and sketches, tutorials, and more videos like this, starting at $1.69 a month. And of course, you'd be making it possible for me to make more videos like this and just to create more art, which would be very cool. If you don't have the means or just don't want to, that is totally okay, but if you got this far in the video, I would really appreciate it if you would like it and maybe subscribe to see more of my stuff in the future. Maybe even drop a comment if you're feeling crazy. Okay, that's all for that unnecessarily long spiel, but I'm gonna let you enjoy the rest of the process video now for the final piece, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.